Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. and I was born July 4th, 1986. Today I want to talk about something that not a lot of people may want to hear, but I'm going to tell you this is the number one thing that we need to start focusing more upon when we're thinking about our dogs in our households, and our dogs, even if they live in kennels in the backyard or however you have and you surround yourself around some dogs. Maybe not even your own dog, but someone else's dog. There's something that we all need to hear. And it may be hard to hear at first, but I'm telling you, once you hear this, you're going to be like, I get it. I totally get it. It totally makes sense. But a lot of times when we get that like, aha, figure out moment, it's usually kind of like a slap in the face. It's not really what we thought it was. Or it's because it's not what you thought it was that it's so simple and it's so easy. And it's so just like, why didn't I think of that? And it's like, I know, I hear you, but I'm telling you, you're struggling right now with everything that your dog is doing in your house, other people's dogs even, everything about you and animals. Everything that comes to you is what you're telling the animal to do. Your dog is jumping on you and you don't want him to jump, you're telling him to jump on you. You may verbally say to yourself or even in your mind saying, I don't want him to do that. Why are they still doing that? You are somehow telling that animal that keep doing that, please, because I like it, because they're still doing it. If your dog is lunging, pulling, or get down. Your dog is lunging, pulling, get down, and going crazy and doing any of that, barking at dogs, barking at people, it's because you told them to do that. You told them, I want you to do that, and please do it better next time, because this time that you just did it now wasn't quite good enough. I need you to do it a little bit more. You keep telling them to do that. The reason why your dog is just barking like crazy around the household when anybody, you can't even see the person walking by anymore. You're like, what are you even barking at, dude? Like, what's happening right now? Because you told them to do it. You're like, I need you to be on guard in this household. I need you to catch the wind. When the wind is going too hard, please bark at it for hours, just so that everyone around can be able to know that you're here to make me feel safe in some sort of way. Even though you're out there yelling at them, stop that. No, don't do that. You're telling them that that's what you're looking for. Everything that your dog and other dogs that come to you do to you is because you're telling them to do it. And once we are able to really just understand that simple logic, that's when we as human beings can start to be able to transform all about ourselves to be able to do something absolutely fantastic. We need to realize that the dog is not the issue. The dog's not the issue. It truly just is not. And I have tested and proven this over and over, and I'm going to continue to keep doing this for the remainder of my life. Because I love me some animals, and animals are just going to be me forever. I got into it, I think, late, personally, but it's never too late. Because once you get in it, you're in it, if you like them. I mean, I like all the, I like the chicks, I like donkeys, I like horses, I like dogs, I like cows, I like everything. I like me some birds. I want to get me a pet bird at some point. I like me some animals. I like just interacting and playing and doing stuff with them. And something that I just keep seeing over and over is the fact that we are telling them what it is that we're looking for from them. I don't care what words you say. I don't care what mindset you got, what you're thinking. You're the one that's explaining to the animal to do that. Because there's one thing that I do know. Other people's dogs, they jump on me because I allow mine to be able to do it. Other people's dogs come up to me and ask me and present themselves like, can I get some pets? Because I like doing that. I'm all about that. Other people's dogs do not bark on leash when I hold that leash. They may have it in them for 15 seconds, but then they realize real quick, this dude's not about that. And they stop doing it. And people just see this happen over and over with me. They're just kind of like blown away in a way, but to me it's easy. Hey, Johnny, get down. To me, it's simple. It's easy. Because I do not want the dog to bark at other people. I do not want the dog to bark at other dogs. I do not want the dog to be in this excited, frantic state while it's out looking around doing it. I'm saying to that dog, I don't want this. So you know what the dog does after a couple of minutes? They stop doing all of that. It's a beautiful thing because when we know that, man, we could transform our lives to be able to be something absolutely spectacular. Because we're the ones that are in control. We're the ones that are able to decide where it is we want to go and what it is that we're looking for. I don't need to expect that the animal's going to change for me one day. No, I'm going to change for that animal one day to be able to give it something different that I'm getting. I may be looking for something, but if I'm not getting it, it's because I'm not doing something that I need to put into practice, put into action to be able to get the result that I'm looking for. And a lot of us, we're out here just working so hard. There's like 500,000 videos on YouTube of how to get your dog to loose leash walking, all these different techniques. And I can show you dog after dog after dog, but it's not in reality ever going to help any single person on the planet because you are still doing, thinking, being about something that is still saying to your dog, I need you to keep doing that. That's where I'm going to say is what true dog training is all about. It's not for me to take that dog and be able to make it be something. It's for me to explain to you how to make sure that you are able to communicate effectively to that animal to let them continue to keep on doing what it is that you're actually looking for, but not what you're actually seeing. That's where the real help starts to happen with the majority of every single person. You just cannot watch a video. That's why for me, I already know it's pointless for me to show you how to get your dog to sit, how to get your dog to leash walk. Because the dogs will automatically, 100%, I'm still at 100% case with this. Every dog will walk with me, stay with me, be around me. I don't care that they walk right next to me. They're with me. They're not running off. They're not chasing no cars. They're not chasing and barking at no dogs. They're not chasing and trying to run at people. They're with me. Because that's what I'm saying to that dog that my expectations are. Now, when I say you can go ahead and go and run and go free and do what you got to do, cool, they go ahead and they do that. But I can't sit here and make video after video to show you how to do it, and you go home and you're trying, it's not working. It's because there's something deep down inside of you that's going on that is confusing the animal. And when dogs get into confusion, it looks crazy. And that's why for me, when I see the mass confusion that dogs are in, I have to take that dog for a couple of days. I got to hold on to them because they don't know what to do. They feel pressure on the leash and they're barking. They don't feel pressure on the leash, they're barking. They're just like, I don't know what the expectations are here. I don't know what's going on. So I need to bring that dog and put it into a very sterile situation to explain and teach it and show it and guide it to let them know, this is what we're looking for, man. You're not sure, but I'm going to make it very clear and very obvious and very just super simple for you at this point, so that we can get that dog started on a good path. That's where I'm going to say is more of a rare case. That's not everyone in every situation. If your dog is biting you, your dog's growling at you, showing teeth at you, your dog's doing stuff like that, I'm going to say that you're in that rare case. It's not that rare that it's like 1 out of a million. I'm going to say it's 10% of people with your dog inside your household. And it always starts with treats. Because you have a dog in your house that is being disrespectful. And like I said, who started the disrespect is what we really need to start focusing more of our energy on. And realizing that we're the ones that actually started that disrespect. And the dog is just giving us back what it is that we're putting out to them. And then when you're giving that dog that's giving you disrespect because you're disrespecting it, some treats, what you think that dog's going to continue to keep doing? Disrespecting you like all heck can be crazy. They are going to push you. They are going to drive you. They are going to make you go insane because they're just reflecting what it is that you're doing. If you come at that dog kind and sweet and with compassion, the dog is going to come at you the exact same way. And it's something that I want to talk about today is tools and equipment. A lot of people out here, they get stuck in their brain and hearing a guy talk like me that I don't use no e-collars and I don't use no prong collars and I don't like no slip leashes and I don't say no and I don't discipline my dogs and I don't correct my dogs and I don't have to fix my dogs when they're not doing. And I'm going to say I use every tool, every item, every piece of equipment, everything outside of the little halter things. I just like me a slip leash. I like me a prong collar. And I like me a prong collar over the slip leash because it's easier on my hands. It makes less pressure, less stress, less worry, less problems. And it's got nothing to do with the equipment. That we got an issue going on today where someone's like, oh, prong collars are bad, they're evil. Where I'm gonna say, if your dog is jumping and going crazy at people, at dogs, at anything, you're way worse wrong in that scenario than just addressing that and fixing it and guiding them and correcting them to be able to make sure that they're not doing that. I'd rather see a dog that is maybe a little stressed, I'm gonna say, over, man, I can't do that, as opposed to being stressed to the point that that's why they're barking like crazy. That's why they're lunging like crazy. That's why they're trying to run away from you all the time. Because they're so stressed out that they don't know where to go, what to do, what to make happen. To me, that's animal abuse. If the dog is just so crazy, they're just everywhere they go. If they're always like that, or get down. If they're always like that, to me, that's what I would consider as animal abuse. Because you're not correctly guiding that animal to be able to figure out how to be able to get out of, get down. How to be able to get out of that high level of stress. That's what I can say right here, right now for this animal. That I can get them amped up because we do stuff, we play, we go hard. We have some good times out here. Get down. That's why when I get all like that, he's like, we can doing it. Oreo, get down. It's for me to get him out of that excitable state. It's responsible for me to get him out of that. To realize like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going into that. That is what I'm gonna say is where, for me personally, I see dog abuse. When you're just allowing your dogs to stay in these excessive, anxious, high drive, wild, chaotic mindsets. That is just horrible to the dog. Absolutely horrible to the dog. So for me, I'd rather take 15 seconds to explain to that dog, no, I don't want that, as opposed to allowing it to stay in that for months, years. I've seen dogs like that. I've worked 14, 15, 16-year-old dogs that they've lived their entire 15 years of life in this excitable state. They've never been able to just relax. In most cases, especially if they're over a year old, about a year and a half old, they look at me with absolute gratitude. They're like, thanks, man, because I can't stand being like this all the time. Because what is it that most of us have in our households? Pets. We have pet dogs. We come at pet dogs differently than we come at working dogs. Working dogs are beautiful. What I'm going to say is easy. They're like stupid easy to work. Because they're more, if you say no, you put a prong collar and you say no and you give them a correction on that leash, that working dog is not going to, what I see happen over and over, is shut down. It's not going to get so emotional. It's not going to get butt hurt. It's going to say, oh, okay, I was wrong. Let me just fix myself. But a pet dog, let me do that to this dog. Let me do that to that dog. They just get so emotional. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to function no more. You came at me. You said no to me. You have to come at them completely differently. And that's, again, you're not going to come at a dog that is disrespecting you, because I don't care if it started with you disrespecting, cool. Now that we understand now we can move forward. But we can't come at that animal with giving him treats to think that he's going to start to listen to me now. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And a lot of people are putting yourselves in what I'm going to say is danger inside of your houses, because you're trying to give a dog that is pushy, unruly, attitude like crazy, ruthless. You're giving them treats to try to get them to stop doing that. That is so just not the right way of going about it. And that's why for me, the thing about it is, my dogs, something that somebody said to me that really got in my brain. They're like, Mark, I bet you don't train your dogs like you do this. And I'm like, I don't. I sure don't. I train my dogs completely differently than I do other people's dogs. I cannot train your dog the way I train my dogs, because it's me every day, all day, doing what I'm doing with my animals. I can't train you that. I can't offer that to you. But I sure can put an extremely high level of manipulation on your dog to make it think that I'm still there, even though I'm not there, helping them out and guiding them and being able to get them to understand what it is that we're looking for. And that's where equipment, tools, come into a really good place. Because when that leash is loose, I can train that dog to know, just don't react, man. Don't do nothing. Be completely chill. When that leash is loose, you got no pressure on your neck. You got no pressure on your body at all. You got nothing touching you. Neutral, calm. You start to get tension. Okay, now let's start to get a little activated. Now let's start to change some things up. You get to touching on them, they're gonna get activated. Gonna get things moving. I can't teach a person to really understand all that, because the main thing is, a reactive dog is a scared dog. It's scared of something. That's why it's barking to get away. And I can't convince a young woman to walk around on these streets, the places that I go, that sometimes I'm looking at people in different situations. I'm just like, man, it's a little sketchy, especially deep in some trails and going where I'm going. I see some young ladies out there like, how you doing this, man? I got my dog, I got me. I feel pretty confident. I got stuff on me to make sure I can defend myself, but I can't expect you not to be scared in a situation like that. So when you start to get scared, of course your dog's going to start to get scared. There's something that we all need to just really understand. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be in that state. But we don't want our dogs to think that they have to do all this extra work to help you get out of this situation. Sometimes, in a very rare case, and more likely never in your life, are you going to have to need to activate your dog to get it to actually perform the way that they all are looking out there all the time. It's very rare to see somebody walk up to you and say, oh, go bite them because they're trying to hurt me right now. That's just very rare. As much as we watch the news, talk about how dangerous everything is, it's really not that dangerous in that sense. But you can't have your dog just barking, going crazy. You can't have them out there doing that, because you're stressing that animal out. The animal is so stressed out to the point that it starts to get delusional, and it starts to just not know what's going on. And that's where I can come in with the manipulation of using tools to say, hey, stop that, actually. You may think that we want you to do that. You feel pressure on that collar that you had on before, and that would be bark. I could put a prong collar on that dog and say, actually, that's not what I want. And the dog's like, oh, that's a no. That's what I love about the simple slip leash and a simple prong collar or pinch collar or choke collar. I don't care what I call these pieces of equipment, these tools. They all are very, very effective tools to be able to explain to that dog, I don't want that. And that's a big thing that I think a lot of us are struggling with, thinking that I'm going to put this on and my dog is going to be able to perform. And I'm going to say in some cases that happens because the dog does get terrified, and is terrified of that equipment, not terrified of what it is that they're doing that you're not looking for from them. I think the dog should be terrified of if it messes up, then it's this or it's that. But the dog needs to understand boundaries. And we need to put boundaries and limitations on the dogs. We can't just allow them to be running free and do whatever they want to do. But it's something that we need to be able to effectively communicate. Hey, I don't want that. And the dog's like, okay, cool. Then we're not going to do that anymore. And you're like, I do like that. Okay, cool. Let me keep doing that then. You need to be able to effectively say that. And a lot of tools just make that easy. Makes it like ridiculously easy. It makes it really, really fast. That's another thing that some people just don't like. Whoa, they responded, they got better too fast for me. It's like, what is this supposed to take months and years? No, I want to get the dog out of this in 10 seconds. The faster I can get the dog out of it, the faster we can move on to living a very nice, peaceful, calm life. But the longer that we're going to stay in it, we're trying to, oh, the dog is barking at a dog, let me give it treat after treat after treat, and it's going to take it 15 years to get out of it. I don't want to go that route. I want to take 15 seconds to say, I don't like that. That's not what I'm looking for. To get the dog out of that level of stress so that we can get on to being able to do something that's just going to be much, much better for us in the end. Now we can go more places. Now we can do more stuff. That's the one thing that I absolutely love the most when I start working with some people helping you get your dogs to be able to walk outside. Because you're like, I want to walk my dog, most people on once a day. But when that dog starts walking really good, it starts being really nice, you have no choice in you but to get up and be like, let's do that again. Let's do that more. Let's do it longer. Let's go other places now. Let's explore. Let's figure out more because now it's starting to get more fun. It's starting to get more exciting. When a dog is just going crazy, it's like, it's no fun. It's no fun. And I'm going to say this again. The dog is doing that because you're telling it to do that. And please just sit on that, listen to that, and really, really, truly understand that. Everything that your dog is doing is because we as humans are telling them to do something. And that's why for me, doing a board and train session, taking your dog and trying to get him to sit down and do all that stuff is absolutely pointless. Because he's going to do it with me, heck yeah. Because I know how to communicate that to them effectively with no words, but just my body to be able to say, this is my expectations of you. This is what I want from you. It's very easy for me. But I could never expect every single human being to be able to be like that. Some of us are just better at certain things. That's why we have certain people that are doing, say, better, or I don't want to say better in the sense of a monetary gain or this or that, but you're just doing better because you're doing more of what you enjoy. I get to take my dogs to work with me every day. I don't care what money's in my account. I get to do what I like to do all the time. I get to hang out with my dogs as much as I can possibly want to be able to do. And that's for me I can't expect everyone to be able to be like that. You like you a dog. I like dogs. People that meet me, they start talking to me like, I like dogs too, but you realize real quick that I like dogs. I watch 8 hours a day of videos of dogs. I'm not gonna expect everybody to be in that same situation as me like that. I'm not gonna expect you to be able to have a good understanding of knowing 10 steps ahead what we're looking for from the dogs. Like this dog back here being just super hella pushy today. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna this, I'm gonna that. And that comes down to me just having a very good understanding of some dogs. That he a funny animal, and he's a pet dog. He's gonna be always differently. I can't train him the same that I could train this guy. I can say down to this guy, and I can be firm about it. And I am firm about it sometimes, and I'm firm about it on camera. I don't care. It is what it is. I say get down. I'm gonna say get the heck down. I'm telling you to stay down. I get firm with my language, with my attitude, with my energy, with my body, with everything that's going on inside of me. And that's something that we all should be able to get a better understanding with what's going on with our dogs. Is paying attention to that body, that energy, that everything inside of you when you're doing what you're doing. If your dog is jumping on you, you don't want them to jump on you. You need to stop. You need to reassess. You need to have your husband, your wife, your kids put a phone and watch you and record you when you first come home and your dog is doing what you don't want him to do so that you can see what you're doing. And you can start paying very close attention like, oh, that weird guy over there on that farm, he's talking about, I want him to do this, and I'm saying in my mind to stop doing it, and you're even saying it aloud to the dog too. Stop, no, stop, I don't want this, stop, don't do that, stop. And the dog is just doing it more and more and more. You need to watch yourself to figure out like, why are they still doing that? And for me, the one thing that I just really know is dogs love to fight. That's why this guy will do what he does back there. They love to fight. They love to just push limits a little bit. And that's for us to come in as a solid leader to say, I'm not fighting, man. We're doing what we're doing. You may not like everything all the time, but we're just doing it because I don't like everything all the time that I do. There's nothing on this planet that just lives and it's just in some perfect peace and nothing is trying to attack it, nothing is trying to get at it, nothing is trying to do nothing to it. But it's for us as humans to make sure that the animals are going to be able to have that safe place. And for us to be able to keep them safe. For the dog to be anxious and barking and trying to chase all the cars, that is the opposite of safe. That is the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. If your dog is jumping on you and you're worried that they're going to knock someone over and hurt someone, knock a hip out, knock a knee out and do something, knock a head over. I mean, a dog big enough like that could jump on somebody inside of a household can kill somebody. It could hit somebody, they could fall, they could hit their head on the little stands that we love to put in our foyers for decoration. It could kill somebody if we're not effectively being able to communicate to that dog. And a lot of times we need to really think harder about stuff. Aura, get down. We need to think harder about stuff like that, about the actual ramifications that can happen with our dogs inside of our households, and especially outside of our households. We can't just allow them to be in these anxious, frantic, crazy states. We gotta get them out of that. We gotta get them to be able to be calm. And not just for a safety for my own self, but for everybody else around. That's something that is just, we don't talk about enough. We just think that someone's got a dog. People love to, I get such weird responses with my dog that I take out a lot, my Kahi, my shepherd. Some people are, oh, you abuse him, that's why he's like that. And I'm like, this dog is not abused in any sort of way. But a lot of people think that, oh, you got this kind of equipment, you got a prong collar on the dog, you got an e-collar, you got a slip collar. The dog's only listening to you because it's under that pressure that if it messes up, it's gonna get hurt. Are there some people out here that train like that? Heck yeah. But to me, I don't train with equipment for the dogs to need to rely on that equipment. I train them what I'm looking for, and so that I can make the equipment go away. That's the one thing I learned fast with this dog back here. In school, everything that I learned in dog training school is how to be able to make sure that once you put that prong on that dog, you're never, ever, ever gonna think not use it again. And I thought that concept was just, the only way I can say it is straight up, stupid. Giving treats and using pressure, giving treats and using these collars and using this. I don't wanna rely on this stuff. This stuff is just silly. I wanna be able to go and do what I do. I don't want to have to rely on a battery on an e-collar all the time to make sure that my dog is always going to listen to me. I don't want to rely on always having a 6-foot leash and a prong collar on that dog to make sure that he's going to do what I'm telling him to do. I don't want to rely upon any of that. That's too much work for me. That's way too much. I want to be able to just go and do and chill and hang and relax. And that's why for me, it's a huge difference of what I see people use the equipment and how they're using it. Because you're not going to put the equipment on to try to tell the dog a good firm no, because they better because you said so. It's not at all what we're doing. We're guiding the animal away from the danger to make sure that they're going to be able to stay in a nice, calm place. And if that's your method of making sure that you're going for, equipment and tools are an absolutely amazing thing. Crates are an amazing thing. Some people, your households are a mess. And you wonder why your dog is going crazy, because you kids are yelling, you're yelling, you're running all over the place. Everyone's in and out. You got teenage kids at this point, and you got younger kids. You got this person in and the door. You got people in and out all the time. Everyone's eating at different times. You got just wild stuff going on. Or get down. You got wild stuff going on all the time. And for me, I love me a crate to be able to explain to the dog, you do not need to be a part of that. Oreo, get down. You do not need to be a part of that. You can get off. Get down. You can go and have your safe space over here. Just because the whole household is going crazy, just because the husband and wife are yelling and fighting, just because the husband or the wife and the kids are fighting, doesn't mean that you have to be a part of that. You can go over there and get yourself out of it. And that's where, again, for me, as being what I would say is what a dog trainer is supposed to be doing, is convincing that dog of its own little life that it's got. It doesn't need to be attached to every single person. That if it's not getting the respect that it needs, it can go ahead and isolate itself to be able to get what it needs to be able to fulfill itself, so that it can calm down, so it can relax. And for me, that's I'm going to say an unfortunate circumstance, but at the end of the day, at the same time, I work dogs, but I got to make sure that the humans, the people, we good to go. And we all don't do everything the same way, and I can't expect all of us to do everything the same way. You got your own style. You like to take your dog to the dog park. I don't really do that. Well, I don't need to. You like your dogs to be able to chase things, and I may say I allow that's why my dogs don't chase chickens, because I allow them to do it. They have the freedom, the range to be able to chase and move and do what they want to do. So they have no desire to want to say, do it behind my back. I got 100 plus out here. I let them chase whatever one they want. Go ahead and do what you want to do, man. Have fun. And when they get too close and they get mouthy with it, it's like, hey, stop that. But they get to be able to do what it is that they want to do. And then when you give them what they want to do, they stop doing everything. And that's what I have to be able to explain to a lot of people with your dogs. You don't do what I do. You do what you do. And we got to make sure that your dog is going to be able to adapt to that scenario. And the biggest thing is you need to start to realize that your dog is doing what it's doing because you're telling it to do You're telling them to do everything that they're doing. If they're stealing food off your countertop, when you're cooking and doing what you're doing, you told that dog to steal that food. If your dog is dipping its head inside of that trash can every single day, you told your dog to continue to keep on doing it. If your dog is peeing and pooing inside of the house still, and it's 8 months old, you're telling it to do that. If your dog is biting your ankles everywhere you're walking, if your dog is growling at you, if your dog doesn't want to get off the bed when you tell him to get off the bed, if your dog doesn't want to get on the bed because you tell him to get on the bed, that's the issue I got with this dog here. She don't want to jump up there. She's like, you got to pick me up to put me there. I've been doing it so much that that's just what our expectations. I'm like, heck no, girl, we done with that. Today, or last night, I started that last night. You jumping. I'm not picking you up no more. You 50 pounds. Like, you could jump up there. You can make this happen. And if I got to put a rug or do this or build you a little ramp, we're going to do that. But I'm not picking you up no more to do this. So I've told her that that's what I'm looking for from her. I told her, if you want to lay on the couch, then I'll pick you up. You give me those little sweet eyes. I got you. So everything that these dogs are doing is because we're telling them to do it. And that's what I'm going to say again is the most amazing thing, because then it puts everything under our control to be able to realize and recognize what we want to change, what we want to do differently. It's not the dog. The dog is awesome. Your dog is awesome. I could take your dog, and I take many people's dogs. And I'm just like, you got the best dog, man. Your dog is nice. You got a really nice dog. The way your dog is able to recover from when it starts to get stressed, the way your dog is able to just deal with anything, the way your dog is able to just handle when another dog runs up onto it, you got a nice dog. Everybody, we all got nice dogs. We got really nice dogs. It's a matter of making sure that you're putting that energy of what you're looking for and actually putting it out there for the dog to understand it. And then you're going to have that really, really nice dog that you want. This is just life-changing information for me one day when I woke up. Because I got sick and tired of having to keep this dog back here on a leash all the time. He would always have to have a leash everywhere we went, or an e-collar. And I'm just like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. I'm sick of this. I can't stand it. Why am I relying upon things as opposed to just relying on our relationship? And you got to build that relationship to make sure that I don't need to rely on this stuff. And the tools are there to help guide them, not to force them to dictate them, but to show them what it is that I'm looking for. It's so simple. It's so easy. It's so easy. We just take a moment and just say, the one thing that I know a lot of y'all dogs do that you just don't like, that I don't know why people don't like it, but it's just, for me, it's the difference. That dog cannot jump on people. My big Pyrenees, I never seen that dog jump before. I don't think he can jump. He can't jump on people. My smaller dogs, we can do whatever we want. But still, my dogs, they don't jump on people. They can jump on me. I don't let them jump on anybody else, but they sure can jump on me. And it's something that if you don't like that, I'm telling you, just think real hard about everything that you do to convince that dog to do that. I didn't like that when I would come home, my dogs would just be jumping and going crazy. Like, cool, you can jump on me, but in that stance, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to have 3 or 4 dogs come running up to you, bum rushing you, just all on you. I'm like, oh, I need some space first. Give me some space first. Relax it out. I had to figure out, what am I doing? Because clearly, I'm explaining to them that that's what I want. And then now I can come home and they could all just sit there, present themselves, look all pretty, and they're like, what's up, man? I'm like, hey, all right, now we can go into that party. I want that party to start when I'm going to say I'm a little picky with some stuff, that I want that party to start. You're not about to start that party over there without me. I got to be there first, and we'll figure it out, and then we'll get into that party. But it's something that we all should focus more on. Whatever your dog is doing, it's because you're telling them to. And once you realize that, you're going to be able to fix and change absolutely everything that goes on inside of your household. Because once you're able to get that clear communication, without needing no leash, no equipment, no tools, no nothing, with just being able to look at the dog and just say, I'm not looking for that. That's not what I want. You're going to start to be able to use that for every little thing that you're just like, you know what? I don't like them on the couch. Some people just don't like the dogs on the couch. It is what it is. I guess I can understand. I understand it. I don't understand it. I used to be picky with it all. I just don't care anymore. I'm just like, dude, get on the couch, get on the bed. I don't care. You want to just nap in the middle of the floor, just do what you do. Make it happen. I just don't care. But some people aren't that way. And you want specific things. And you're wondering, why is the dog on the couch and I keep telling him not to get on the couch? Why is the dog chewing up on my stuff and I keep telling him not to chew up on my stuff? And once you're able to get that aha moment with you and your dog, with being able to get them to understand what you want, Oro down. To start with that whole jumping situation. And that dog's like, oh, you must not want that. Then what do you want? And then that dog finally sits down and you're just sitting there petting him. And you're like, okay, cool. I could do this because this is what I want as well. Now you can start using that in every other thing in your life. But if you come at that dog with the training method that, I get it. You put the leash on, put the slip leash on, put the prong collar on, the dog jumps up and you pull him and you knock him down. You say, I don't want that, I don't want that. That works. But it doesn't work to be able to have a clear communication about anything else inside of your household. Just that one scenario is why that's going to work. And I don't like training that way. I want to train one thing really good to know this is what I'm looking for from you. Outside, the one thing I teach every dog is don't walk next to me. Don't even really walk with me. Just don't take off. Don't leave me. Stay near me. That's all I teach the dog. And I work on that over and over and over again. And then one day, I don't need to worry about no leash. I don't need to worry about no collars. I don't need to worry about nothing. The dog is always there. Anytime that you're like, oh, where is he at? And you look and you're like, oh, he right there. That's what you're going to come into. As opposed to forcing that dog with that leash, you better stay with me. You better this, you better that. And yeah, you're going to always need that piece of equipment. You're going to always need that leash. You're going to always need it. Always. You're just not going to get away from it. It's always going to have to be there. And you don't want to teach the dogs like that. You want to teach the dogs how to be able to understand who you are. When the dog is barking and going crazy at stuff, yeah, you can snap them out of it with a prong pretty fast. And the dog's going to understand, like, oh, they must not want that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want that. And the next time that they look at a person and they look back at you, I'm going to pet that dog and say, that's what I want, man. I want you to look and scan and view, but you're not barking. But we love to let them bark at something and pull them back in and hold them with that leash and grab them in real tight and start petting them like crazy. Then the dog's like, oh, they must want me to do that then. Okay, I'll keep doing it then. I want the dog to just look and just be like, oh, it's a world. And I'll say, okay, cool, good job. I can pet you now. I can pet this dog like crazy at this moment. It's hard for me to pet this girl May at first because she was always so scared. I couldn't touch her. I had to refrain from touching this dog because I didn't want to keep on amplifying that scaredness inside of her. I wanted her to know that everything is cool. But at this point now, I know she's not scared of the world. She's not scared of being out here. She's not scared of no chickens. She was a dog that would just chase them because she was scared of it. She's like, I got to go get it before it gets me. And I'm like, dude, you the beast out here. You don't need to worry about these stupid little chickens. These roosters are tough. They tough. But you tougher than whatever toughness that they can give you. And I allow her to chase these roosters around. That built her confidence of like, man, I am tough. I allow her to move my cows around. I am tough. I can do anything. And now she's not scared of anything out here because I allow her to be able to realize that, hey, she's a dog. She's tough. She's powerful. But if I keep her in that scared state, she's scared, she's nervous, and I'm touching her, and she's scared, she's going to stay in that state. She's going to constantly always be in that state. And that's why for me it took years to figure out how to get this dog out of that crazy state of realizing that she must be that way because I'm telling her to be that way. I'm guiding her to be that way. And it was a frustrating moment for me to just realize like that is the truth. That is just what it is. And then, but the beautiful thing is I could change. I could do something different now. I could pay more attention to my actions to realize that's not what I'm looking for now. And that's a beautiful thing when it comes down to that. The dog, it's not the dog's fault. The dog is just doing what you're telling it to do. And that's why they're so amazing. Because they will take our leadership, our guidance. Even if you're disrespecting them, they'll still listen to your leadership. That's how incredible these animals are. They love like no other kind of love. They love the way that I understand what God's love is all about. Now, we do some crazy messed up stuff, but he's just like, it's all good. And that's what the dogs do. We do crazy stuff to them, and they're just like, I'll let that one go, you know? It's all right. We'll try again, and we'll try again, and we'll try again, and we'll try again. And they never just stop trying. They just keep trying. They are just incredible. Find you another human being on this planet that will do anything near what a dog would deal with you in 24-hour period. That person would just leave you, best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they're going to put some hands on you if you disrespect the human being the same way that we disrespect dogs. That's something that we should really think hard about. And you saying, oh, I'm not disrespectful. I love my dog. Just because you say that word out loud and think that word and feel that because of what you do with your dog doesn't mean that your dog understands you. That's something that we all need to really start paying more attention to. Just because you say, I love you, doesn't mean that that person you're saying it to is hearing and seeing and understanding that from you. It's something that we should focus more of our time, not with just even dogs, but other people, especially starting out with just your spouse. A lot of people household, I go into y'all households and y'all is fighting, man. It's just chaos. No wonder why the dog is going wild. It doesn't know what's going on here. And it's just, a lot of times you say, I love you, but that it's like, it's nothingness. I don't care how much you got in your energy. I do everything for him. I do this, I do that, and everything. But the other person is looking at it like, this person doesn't do a dang thing. They are ruthless to me. They are savage to me. They never pay attention to me, never listen to me. They never meet my needs. And the other person is, I am doing that. You need to make sure that what you're saying and what you're doing is actually coming out. And that's a beautiful thing that we can recognize and realize about ourselves with some dogs. Because like I said, if the dog is doing something that you're trying to say not to do, you need to come up with a whole new level of communication to be able to figure out how to be able to help that animal out. And then you're going to be able to replicate that in more ways in your life. That's why to me, I can't not look at dogs and horses, those two specific animals, and not see the presence of God and his beautiful creation in them, of being able to teach us something and guide us somewhere, to be able to show us something absolutely just magical on this planet. And they're able to just get us to, one thing I can say is grow up, because you can't just easily speak to it. You can't just even force them for the most part. Some dogs, yeah, but most dogs, you start giving them too much leash pressure, being too mean to them, they're gonna do something wild to you. They gonna chew on you. They're gonna let you know quick. That's why that dog ends up in the shelter with a little red card saying, oh, he bit somebody. It's like, no, somebody was disrespectful to him. Come back at him, don't show him no disrespect, and watch how he's never gonna bite again. I don't care to know what a dog has done before. I can know that a dog has killed someone before, and I'll take that dog, and I say, this is a nice dog. This is a sweet dog. This is a really cool dog, because I'm not gonna disrespect them. I know how to communicate what I want to them, and that forces us to have to upgrade our lives into being something. Just stop worrying so much about you and yourself, and start worrying about something else. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to be alive, to be able to do what we do out here. There's so many life lessons that I can see and I stumble upon, and I find the more and more I keep working with some animals, and not just that, but everything, all the life creation out here. It's ways to be able to help us, to be able to make sure that we can do what it is that we're supposed to be doing, loving one another. A lot of us don't know how to love ourselves or love anything. That's why we don't love another person, because we don't even do that our own selves. But there's a lot out here that can help teach us to be able to show us how to love ourselves, so that we can be able to do that for others. And then, man, imagine the world we would live in if we all were able to effectively communicate and handle and be able to manage everything out here. We would live in a world that we just don't understand today. That's a world that I would hope to be able to get with at least one more person on board with understanding. Start with having a nice dog. When you start having a nice dog and you see a nice dog in your house, you're going to want to practice and put that to the next person that you see that comes around in your house, that comes in your life. You're just going to, I want to do something extra for you today. Just because. Because it starts with me doing extra first. And then maybe they'll do something for me. But I'll tell you this, and I'll guarantee you this. You do something nice for a dog, and they will always come back to you. They will always extra perform for you. They'll always show you gratitude. Always. When you're kind to them, when you respect them, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you.